I finished this Frank Fenton script, which was called Smiler with a Knife, and the title was changed, of course, to His Kind of Woman, starring Robert Mitchum and Jane Russell. And then I was through, so I said to Sid Rogel, look, I'm finished, I'm doing nothing, I'm going to check off.
And who is Sid?
Sid was running RKO for Howard Hughes, who never had an office there. He never came there. Howard Hughes had an office down at Goldman. But he bought RKO and was running RKO, but by telephone. And so I told Sid I was checking out because I'd finished this script and there was nothing, no other assignment that I knew about. He called me back within an hour and said, Howard wants you to stay. And I thought, he's got to be kidding. I didn't think Howard Hughes knew I was there, but he did. And he wanted me to stay, and I said, well, what has he got for me? And he says, well, nothing right now. He just wants you to on standby. And I said, at my regular salary? He says, well, of course. I said, fine. And I got a call within a couple of weeks asking me, Sid Rockel asked me to report to a projection room and not to say anything to anybody about what I was about to see. So I thought I was about to see His Kind of Woman finally finished. Because I had heard rumors that Hughes had fallen in love with the role played by Price. What was his first name? You know, the tall guy who did horror pictures?
Oh, Vincent Price.
Vincent Price. And he had expanded Vincent Price's role and was reshooting material on His Kind of Woman to take advantage of this, what he thought was this priceless comic performance by Price. And he was doing it with Dick Fleischer. And so I thought I was going to finally see His Kind of Woman, to see what they were doing. But no, I saw Stromboli, which was with Ingrid Bergman and directed by Rossellini. And it was dreadful. And I went to Rogel's office and said, there's nothing I can do with that picture. It was in English. There were two versions. There was one in Italian and one in English. And this was the English version. I said, there's nothing I can do with that picture. And he says, Hughes knows that. He hates it, just like you do. But he wants you to write a narration. And I thought, well, okay, that's worth thinking about. I said, listen, let me think about that. And I went and saw the picture again. And there was an actor in it playing a priest, very close to Ingrid Bergman and her husband. His name was, can't remember his name. Cesana. Something Cesana. He was an Italian. And I recognized him. I realized that he was here, and this is the first time that television came into my life. Because he was here in Hollywood, and he was doing a kind of early talk show called The Continental, and he was a very charming Italian with a charming accent. And I realized he was in Hollywood. So I got a hold of him, and he agreed to do the narration if I would write it, that I was going to write. And I thought, well, now I'm willing to do it, because now, if the narration is spoken by the priest in the picture, then it won't be such a violation of the director's movie. And so I called Rogel and said, yeah, I'll do it. So I wrote a narration, did it with Cesana, and Rogel saw it, liked it, we dubbed it, sent the picture to Hughes. Hughes calls in the middle of the night, wakes Rogel up, and screams that he can't understand a word this guy says. And Rogel said to me when he was telling the story, he says, how would Hughes know? He's stoned, he's as deaf as a fire plug. I have to yell at him over the telephone. And Hughes wanted me to rewrite the narration for A Man Like the Man Who Did the March of Time. And I said, oh, God, look, I'm going to do it, but that's, then I want to forget about it. So I did that. I went to the preview. I was invited to the preview, and it was a disaster. And the narration was not there. Because with someone like the March of Time narrating this picture on a little island off the coast of Italy with these Italian peasants, that voice was hardly appropriate. The priest would have been perfect.